Welcome back to Crunch Time. And today we're going to be talking about our top 10 power forwards of the NBA season. Once again, I am on vacation. So I'm putting out content, but I got to pre record it. So today I've just been sitting here. Top 10 twos, top 10 threes, top 10 fours. So here's your fours. Um, Now, what do we do today? This is a big question. Well, we got fours to rank. So we're gonna start off normally with our honorable mentions. Fours way better than the threes. All right, can we just start out with that? I was like, all right, I got my 10. I got my 10. Oh wait, I forgot this guy. I forgot this guy. I forgot this guy. I forgot this guy. Oh my god, now I have 16 players. I can't lie. I feel like it was a pretty clear separation of who is the top 10 and who's the honorable mentions. But the honorable mentions are like, hey, these guys can have a season we know they're capable of having, and they can easily jump into the top 10, and no one would be surprised. So let's get into it. Our first honorable mention, we're going to go with Aaron Gordon. So Aaron Gordon obviously didn't have a great year last year compared to his standards, and shooting was a little bit down, and the defensive intensity he provided wasn't there all the way. And that's why he's in the top 10, because last year I feel like on the he's on the swing down, and he's not Aaron Gordon of 2023. If this was 2023 Aaron Gordon, we might be talking top 5, and that's scary. But he's falling out. But well, he's my first honorable mention, and he was number 10 until I realized number 10 existed. So had to put number 10 in there. We'll find out who that is. At number 2, we got, or not number 2, but our next honorable mention. These guys aren't ranked, so I don't know why I said number 2. I have him as 2 in there because it was a list. But yeah, Paolo. That might be a shock. That might be a shock that Paolo isn't on here. I don't like Paolo. I don't think he is a good defender for his size. He's a fine playmaker for his size. He's not a good one. He can't shoot. He can't shoot mid ranges really all that well anymore. I don't know what happened. He just kind of stopped. I don't give a shit what he did in March. That shit's fake. Look at October to February. What did he do? Nothing productive. Yeah, Franz wasn't there. Franz wasn't there. Blah blah blah. We were so injured. Yeah, okay. Sorry that Franz not being there made Jalen Suggs shoot 20% in the playoffs. That has nothing to do with Paolo, but Paolo or no Paolo, the Magic shouldn't have blown a 3-1 lead. That's the last memory I have of Magic. And yeah, Paolo wasn't all too bad in that series, but we know he's a playoff riser. That's who he is. Why don't you play good in the regular season so your team isn't in the play-in, so that maybe you don't have to play the first seed in the playoffs and blow a 3-1 lead? Imagine that I had to play like even Boston. I think they could have beaten Boston. Now we know what happened with Boston. Imagine they were just slightly better. Like, I don't know what we're doing here. Paolo is not a top 10. I don't think he will be a top 10 power forward, which sucks. Also, Chet is not on this list because although he's listed as a power forward, I view him as a center. So take that in mind, Thunder fans. Uh, Next honorable mention, we have Jabari Smith Jr. This one was a hard cut. He was also in contention for number 10. And I really like Jabari. I think he brings a lot to the table. He's got good size, good defense. He's an excellent shooter of the basketball. And I think he does so much. But this is just a really good position. And he's just good. He's not really good. So, yeah, even though I would love to have him on my team, he doesn't make the cut. Number 4 is the newest, well, newest as I'm recording. He might not be the newest as of today, but Rui Hachimura is he's number 4 on the honorable mentions. He very good player. Well, not very good role player. He borderline elite role player, and I think that's So to be top 10, do you have to be a superstar? No. Do you have to be a star? Not really, right? I wouldn't say 10 is a star. Nine's probably not a star. Eight's probably not a star. Really, you don't get into stars until six, for sure. And if you can, have a good season on the Clippers and you can show that you can create for yourself a little more, I have no doubt that you could be a top 10 power forward potentially. Number five, we have Julian Champagne. This one's a little weird one. He had a really good season last year for what the expectations were. And if he can keep that up, he definitely could be top 10. It's just, I don't know if he will be able to keep that up because of the rise of Dylan Harper and him getting more usage and a whole lot of other factors on that Spurs team, with Tobias Harris getting there, which he is not on the list because he's unk. But yeah, um, I think there's a lot of things that if he can have a similar season stats wise to last year, he could definitely be on this list. And at number six, this is a little bit of a legacy pick, but also not. We have Draymond Green. Now, this is why he's my last honorable mention. He's not on the power. He's not in the top 10. But if he can help the Warriors get a good season going, and he can be that defensive anchor they need, and he can help be their point guard as well, because that's what he would be. Traditional sense point guard, right? Facilitating the offense, right? Directing back screens, directing their play, their split actions, and their elevator doors, and all that type of stuff. If he can help them do that to the degree he's always done it, and he can defend at a high level like he's always done, and the Warriors end up being a top four seed somehow out of nowhere because Curry's going off, Draymond could be viewed as a top 10 power forward next year. He could be an all star like he was in 2022. And I wouldn't think that's all that surprising. Actually, I would think that's all that surprising because I don't think that stuff's going to happen. But if that were to happen, I wouldn't view it as surprising for Draymond to be a top 10 power forward, is what I'm saying. All right, so let's get into the top 10 now. Ooh, right. So, number 10, I have Jaden McDaniels. With the departure of Julius Randle, who's not on this list because it's dubious handle, um, I really like Jaden McDaniels. Similar to Anthony Edwards, I'm a big fan of him. So, Jaden McDaniels is a listed at 6'9", but he's reportedly around 6'11". So that's what makes him pretty outstanding, is his size and length and his defense. Really, he's a amazing defender, and him next to Rudy Gobert is scary, especially with LaMelo and Ant in the backcourt. I think the Timberwolves team is really underrated, and I think that they can really make some damage happen. And I wouldn't be surprised if they were to be the next team to put their name in the 7 years of a new champion. Since no one's done it twice since 2019. Da 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 da. I think them or the Spurs would be my pick for the next team to break that, but or to continue that. But I honestly think it's going to be broken this year. I just have that feeling. It's gotten to a long point of no repeat champions. So yeah. But anyways, I like Jay McDaniels. He's really good. That's all I can really say. He has a lot of talent, a lot of skill, and yeah, great defender and can definitely do some offensive stuff too. And at my number 9 spot, I have Larry Markkinen. So Larry's always been a little bit of a weird one, but he had a really good year last year. And putting him at number 9 kind of hurt me, but it was just the lack of games played for me. He only played 42 games last year. Yeah, you averaged 27, but you only played 42 games, dude. That's it. You didn't do as much as people wanted you to. And is that a bad thing? Not in all cases, but and he did get shut down. Like the Jazz weren't like, "Hey, dude, come play." He was like, "Nah." He was like, "Hey, can I play?" And they were like, "Nah." But you had an outstanding performance, and if you repeat similar numbers how you did last year, first of all, with the team you have, if you somehow do that, okay, yeah, you're top five, you're top four, right? But Lowry is really good, and honestly, all these like final four guys, 10 through 7, are kind of like interchangeable. Like it's really really close, but just because of some other factors, I had to put some of these guys higher than others. And one of those factors is NBA championships. So that's why OGN and Obi is my number 8. Now, OG's stats in the regular season aren't the most eye popping. Right, let me read them out for you. He averaged 16 points, around 2.5 stocks, which is pretty eye popping. That's pretty good. 2 assists and 5 rebounds. So 16, 5, and 2 with 2.5 stocks. That sounds just like pretty similar to Jaden McDaniels almost. A higher level Jaden McDaniels, which might be why he's higher than Jaden McDaniels. But in the playoffs, dude, still 2.5 stocks, 20 points a game, shooting 49% from three, 56% from the field in 17 games. It's not a small sample size. Like that's not. And I would be a liar if I said that I don't think he could be better than this next year. He could totally be in this role next year that he was in the playoffs, and he could be the second leading scorer, third leading scorer for the Knicks, and he could be their first leading scorer at times. He was almost the Finals MVP until Brunson dropped 45 to close it out. OG Anunoby almost won Finals MVP. That would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. If he won it, he might be like 5, honestly. But hey, is that recency bias? It might be. Call it recency bias. Did, did any of the other power forwards win the finals last year on this list? No. So the fact that there's 7 above him, maybe it's not recency bias. Maybe he's just good. Number 7, I have Pascal Siakam. So it was a little weird with Pascal because he got traded to Indiana 2 years ago, and he had a decent year when Tyrese was there, but he didn't really do all that much in terms of like scoring when Tyrese was there. And you'd expect like with a facilitating type point guard, you kind of get your boost in scoring. But his scoring actually went down. He had the lowest mark since 2019 in terms of points per game average in his first year in Indy, which was a little concerning. But then last year he averaged 24, which was his highest, which is his second highest mark of his career. So that was pretty impressive, even more so. And I wouldn't be surprised if he continues this, because if you look at his stats, his efficiency was the big thing that was down and his shots were up. But if his efficiency gets back to where it was with Tyrese and he continues to take a similar, maybe a little bit less amount of shots, there's no reason he can't hit 24. And if your power forward can average 24 and your point guard can average 20 and 10, and you got other pieces here and there that can get 10, 15, that is a very good team, and that is a very well-rounded team. And I think that is why I would have Pascal at number 7, because he would be leading a very good team. Now, something he doesn't have all that much of is defense. He's not for his position, he's probably below average defender, I'd say. But someone who's not in at number 6, I have Evan Mobley, who was the reigning DPOI coming into this year, and he didn't get any DPOI votes this year, which was kind of crazy because for the reigning DPOI, you would think you would get something, but no. But that's fine. He didn't even get all defensive, which he did play 65 games. I was just looking at that. So hey, I personally would have had him on my ballot if I did it. Uh, Obviously, he's not a scorer and he's everyone kind of wanted him to be similar with Chet. They were like, "Hey, dude, hit the 20 points per game mark. Dude, you're an elite defender. Just hit 20. That's all we need. Be a 20 and 10 guy, not a 18 and 8 guy." Unfortunately, he is an 18 and 8 guy. So Evan Mobley is at my sixth spot, but that's just because of solely elite defense and probably being the second best defender in the league. And unfortunately, that's I guess third best because Chet is probably second. But unfortunately, the gap between one and two is so big that it doesn't matter. And number five, this might come as a shock to a lot of people, but I have Anthony Davis here because Anthony Davis is a fantastic basketball player. And he gets overlooked because of his injuries, but he's only going to be 33 this year. And yeah, 33 is old, and that's well into your 30s, but like Steph Curry is 38, LeBron's 41, Jimmy Butler's 36, James Harden's 38, KD's 38, Westbrook's 38. Like all these players that like haven't either they were either good last year or haven't fallen off or only fell off just like 1 or 2 years ago or 38. Why is AD any different? Because of his injury history? He can be healthy. He played 76 games just 2 years ago. He played 51 games just 2 years ago or 1 year ago. Last year, he only played 20, yeah, but he did also get traded to the Wizards in the middle of the year, and this was also post Luka, and I'm sure he had a lot on his mind about trying to live up to Luka for the fan base, and then they traded him. So yeah, it might have been a little difficult, but AD is still one of the best defenders in the league and one of the best scorers in the league, and I don't see in any world how he can be healthy and be not top five next year. That is my personal opinion. Now, a lot of you guys might have thought I missed this guy on my shooting guards list, but he's listed as power forward, and I view him a lot more as a small forward with a little bit of power forward than a shooting guard. So next we got Jalen Williams. So it was a little weird with Jalen Williams because he had J Dub. If you couldn't get that, I'm going to be upset with you. But it was a little weird with him because he was injured last year and his points were way down and his efficiency was way down. But he only played 33 games, and it's not like he had an extensive injury history before this, right? He played 75 and 71 and 69 games. And although he was dealing with an injury in last year's playoffs, I don't think it's anything to think, oh, he's going to be this person. He had a short injury. He was able to be healthy. He's going to have a shorter off or a longer off season this year than he did last year because they won the championship and that went 7 games, and they had 7 game series before that. So he'll be able to condition himself and get better, and he'll be back in that role. And I think he will return to that form of that top five power forward again. And I think he will be able to complement Shea. And I think that'll be even more deadly because remember, the Thunder were without AJ Mitchell and Jalen Williams last year. And that is crazy to think about. They were gone with the two players that would be so crucial to their team. AJ Mitchell was really good and he wasn't there. So yeah. Next guy at number three, we got our boy Scotty Barnes. I love Scotty Barnes. This guy is a talent and he is amazing. Boy, I can go on about Scotty Barnes all day. I love his game. He just reminds me so much of Scottie Pippen, which is like so. It's funny because they got the same name, obviously, but you know, he's a around 19 points per game scorer, and he is also one of the best defenders in the world. He can. He's an amazing passer, and he doesn't turn the ball over all that much. Like, and now he's gonna have Kawhi next to him, and Kawhi's gonna be able to take a lot of the scoring load and the creating load. So now Scotty's just gonna be able to get his and defend, and I'm sure he loves that. And Dude, I'm so hyped up to watch Scotty Barnes and Kawhi Leonard play with each other. Dude, don't. What does Steven say? Stephen A. say, don't get me salivating and all that because boy, that team is gonna be so fun to watch. But yeah, next, more you might say it's another legacy pick, but I got Kevin Durant at number two. Kevin Durant hasn't shown like any signs that he isn't going to be able to drop, you know, 40 any given night. And although he still is, although his points are starting to like get down, he's get down. He's at 26. 26 points per game is the lowest mark since his final year in Golden State, right? So it's the lowest mark of all the 2020s. You might be like, oh, he's getting older. Dude, he shot 41% from three last year, 52. He could have been a 50, 40, 90 if he could just hit his free throws more. Like, dude, he's Mr. Efficiency. And that is crazy. And you don't just lose that. And when you're someone like Kevin Durant's size who can just kind of be, and mind you, he didn't have a point guard to help him create for himself last year. And that's the one thing about KD that's kind of gone with his age is his self creation hasn't been as great. And it's still some of the best in the league because he is Kevin Durant, but it's no longer the best in the league. And that's not a bad thing for KD at all. And I'm happy that he has this to hang on to because he is still definitely the second best power forward in the league for sure. Finally, we got Giannis at number one. I feel like people forget about Giannis. Like this dude Giannis is the most freak athlete person ever. Like I don't know if he was an NBA player, like aside from like David Robinson, that's more just a freak than this. His name is literally the Greek Freak, and people are like, "Oh, Giannis is going into his age 32 season and he's dealt with some injuries." Bro, the Milwaukee Bucks uh, medical team is like historically the one of the worst ever. Like, are we seriously saying that they're the reason that Giannis, like that Giannis's like decrease in games played is his own fault? Yeah, he played 36 last year. He was ready to play. The Bucks didn't want him to play and hurt himself at the end of the year, which I understand from the Bucks standpoint. But dude, they want his trade value to be up because an injured Giannis is way more is is just way less than a healthy Giannis, and the Heat are gonna get healthy Giannis, and Giannis is gonna be next to a good defensive center, a good defensive point guard, a small forward that can shoot the ball and make his own and play a little defense. Oh, oh this team is sounding kind of familiar. Oh, this team is kind of formulated just like the 2021 Bucks. Okay, obviously it's a downgraded version, but there's a formula, and the Heat are clearly looking to that. And I don't see any way that Giannis. The only way Giannis doesn't have an amazing year next year is if he is injured. But I don't think he's going to get hurt because Bam is going to take a lot of the interior defense, and Giannis is surrounded by other defense. So Giannis is going to be a little like kind of hover, and he's not going to have to worry about all this stuff on defense. And he's just going to be like, hey, I'm coming at you. And what are you going to do about it? You going to stop him? No one stopped him for 10 years. Why do you think you can stop him? Why can you stop him? Yeah, I don't see how you're going to take Giannis over in this argument. He averaged 28 in a down year, 28 and 10 in a down year, 6 assists with no one to fucking pass it. Ryan Rollins or something. Like, dude, Ryan Rollins and AJ Green were his best fucking teammates. Like, dude, Giannis is that dude, and I'll stand by that till I die. Till I die. Okay, Giannis is him. Don't forget it. Thank you guys for watching. If you liked, like, subscribe, follow, share, comment something stupid. Uh, Tell me who you guys think is the best power forward. Did I get anything wrong? Do you think Chet is a power forward? Did you think I was talking about the other Jalen Williams and you were going in the comments being like, let me know. Comment something. All right. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for listening. And I'll come out with a new one in a bit. See ya.